Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to my channel, to my bookland, and in today's coffee time I bring you a really cool and fun book tag, and it is the RuPaul's Drag Race book tag. I was tagged by A.G.MacDonald, and I'm gonna leave a link to his channel down below, as well as the link of the creator of this book tag. And if you don't know A.G.MacDonald, he is a booktuber that is completely different from any other booktuber that you know, and that is what makes his content really enjoyable. And I absolutely love how he talks about books. I think it's very funny. I love listening to his videos. So if you don't know about him, make sure to go and check him out. And now let's go to the book tag.
It's coffee time!
Me, myself, being a fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, obviously I had to do this book tag as soon as possible because I just love that show, and I think this book tag is amazing, and the questions and everything is so much fun. So if you want to join and do this book tag, I'm gonna leave down below in the description all the different questions. And now let's start. The first one is Eleganza Extravaganza, and for this you need to pick up a book that was your most expensive purchase. Now, I am not somebody that buys a lot of expensive books. My most expensive books tend to be hardcover new releases by Stephen King or Joe Hill, but apart from that, I don't really spend too much money in books, or try not to. Now that I am starting my own kind of hardcover collection from Stephen King, there are some on my wish list that are more pricey, but as of now, I think my most expensive purchase has been Stephen King, The Shining, and it was only expensive because I really wanted this specific edition. I believe I paid, including shipping, around 30 euros, which is the most that I've ever paid for a hardcover, like a new hardcover. Normally I pay around 20, I think, for new hardcovers. So this would be, in this case, my most expensive purchase, also one of the most recent ones. So yeah, but I really wanted this edition. I have seen they have other titles by Stephen King in hardcover that match this edition that I'm definitely want to get, but those are around 40 euros or so, but I'm still gonna get them, so they're probably gonna turn to be my most expensive ones. Next we have Oh Pit Crew, and it is to pick some aesthetically pleasing books. If you don't know the Pit Crew from RuPaul's Drag Race, just Google that, because it is eye candy. And so I just picked a couple of random books that I had on my shelves. First is a book I don't hear so many people talking about, but I absolutely loved it, and I absolutely love the cover, and that is Berserker by Amy Laybourne. The sequel is already out, but I sadly do not own it yet. But I love this because it is sort of a fantasy set in the westerns, because it is about kids, this family of kids that has kind of gifts, but it is all set like in the Wild Wild West kind of feeling, and it was so different and so special, and I absolutely loved it. And I think this cover is absolutely stunning as well. Then I have My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix, and when I saw this paperback edition of the book, because the hardcover is totally different, I don't really like the hardcover edition of the book. When I saw this, I knew I had to get it, because this is a cover that portrays so well the 80s kind of horror vibe, and it's absolutely amazing. Let me show you also a close-up of this one, because I mean, all the detailing that it has, it is stunning. Look at the eyes, the balloons, all of the details, and also it looks like an old VHS tape. Also the back, it is designed as it would be like the back of a movie or something like that, and it is just fantastic. And the last one that I want to show you is actually a very recent purchase. It is so recent that I still have not even hauled it for you guys, but that is Pan's Labyrinth. And this is The Labyrinth of the Fawn by Guillermo del Toro and Cornelia Funke, and this is an illustrated edition, and I cannot wait to read it. It looks stunning. Not only the cover is stunning, but the inside is stunning as well, and it is it has this kind of like shiny touch to it that it doesn't translate so good on the screen, but it is fantastic. This is a great, beautiful edition, and the format, it's like a little art book. I'm absolutely in love with this book, and I just cannot wait to dive into it and see what they did with the story, because it is supposed to kind of enhance the story that we got from the movie. So I'm super stoked. This is one of my favorite movies, and Guillermo del Toro was involved in the project, so I am like dying to read it. The next is Comeback Queen. So it's basically either an author that you lost interest in, an author that came back with a new book after a long break, or somebody that came back with a bang. So I had to think a lot about this because I didn't know what to pick, but then I realized that one of my favorite series, which is Harry Potter, and after Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling kind of stopped writing, which I understand. And she didn't really do much on that time until we started to get the scripts for Fantastic Beasts. And for me, is an author that I've currently really lost interest in. So much that I did buy the first Fantastic Beasts script book, but I still have not purchased the second one just because I'm not motivated even to read it, which is very sad because I was excited that we were getting Fantastic Beasts at the very beginning when they announced it. But I've really lost interest in the new materials by J.K. Rowling, and it kind of hurts my heart because Harry Potter was a huge thing for me, and it still is. But the new scripts, and let's not even talk about the Cursed Child, because that was like a pile of poop. You know, remember that pile of poop from Jurassic Park? That is what it felt like. So for this, I would pick J.K. Rowling based on the fact that I have lost interest in this author, even though I used to love her books so much. Next we have Don't Fuck It Up. It is a sequel of a book that you were dying to read, and for this one I have two to show you. The first one is Map of Days by Ransom Reeks. And this is the fourth book on the Miss Peregrine School for Peculiar Children series. It was originally, I believe, going to be a trilogy, but then he decided to move on with the series. I got this copy nearly a year ago in October when I was there in England, in Birmingham, and this is the Waterstones exclusive edition, and I have been dying to read it, but I still haven't. Yay me, but it is on my TBR card of books that I need to read in 2019 because I am part of the people that really love this series. I know it's not for everybody, but I absolutely love the three books, and I cannot wait to get into this boy. And the other book, actually I don't have a physical copy of it because it's coming out on the 3rd of December, but it's going to be the second book on the Legacy of Orisha, and it is basically the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and it's going to be called Children of Virtue and Vengeance, and the cover is stunning. I really loved the first book. I gave it 5 coffee mugs, so I am super excited to finally get my hands on the sequel. Next we have the Snatch Game, and it is to compare to books that either have a similar plot, a similar cover, similar trope, and just decide which one was better. For that, I decided to pick The Wicked Deep by She Earnshaw and The Graces by Laura Eve. The Graces is a great example of a book that sold me because of the cover and because it was about witches, and then it ended up disappointing me. The second book is out and the cover is stunning and it matches this one so well that I'm super tempted to give this one a reread and give it a second try, but I'm not sure. Let me know down below your thoughts on this book if you read it. Basically, they're both books that have to deal with witchery, witches, families. So for me, there is no comparison. The Wicked Deep was just so much better. It ended up building such a good atmosphere. It was kind of eerie, creepy, and the story had a lot more kind of weight when it comes to the plot. It had a very solid kind of background story. The characters were very well developed. The only thing that I had bad to say about this book is that the adults were a little bit missing. You know, it's kind of that trope where the adults is like, where are they? What's happening? And it is basically the story of this little island where 3 witches were condemned to death, and years later they're still coming every year in summer, and they lure 3 men into the sea and they basically kill them as a revenge. And I absolutely love that. And this one, it's just basically a high school where there is this family that everybody thinks they're weird, that they're kind of witches. So it's kind of like Twilight for witches, but not well done. I don't know, that's how I would pitch it to you. I'm sorry, but it was just like the characters were bland, the story was boring, it was not surprising, the twist was like whatever, and that's why I got so disappointed. So they're both books kind of based on families that are related to witches and witchery, but this one failed and this one did a great job. Next we have Reading is Fundamental. Read some of your favorite books, and if you have seen RuPaul's Drag Race, you know that by read they mean you have to throw some shade to those books. So you need to find books that you enjoyed but say something bad about them, or you know, kind of put some shade on them. So let's do that, and for that, like they do in the show, let's get our glasses on. First of all, I would like to speak about Harry Potter and how there is zero diversity in the whole series. Like, didn't you have any space in all of those pages, in all of those chunky books, to put a little bit, just a little bit of diversity into that world? Because we're talking about a fantasy world and there is like zero diversity. Like, fix that. And then, my friends, let's talk about the ACOTAR series, because I did enjoy those books. My favorite one being the 3rd book in the series. But let's be honest, you all are not reading these books because of the fantasy. You're all reading these books because, let's face it, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of bitching around, and if they could, they would, you know, just go for each other's like hair and just pull it, because there are some cat fights in this book. And most important of all, you're all reading this because you love smutty romance. You do. You all just care about Reese's attributes, so to say, and all of those steamy sex scenes. That's what you all want. That's what you all want. Don't lie to me. You're here for the porn. And last but not least, we have RuPaul's Best Friend Race, and here is basically where you tag people. So feel free to tag yourself if you love this tag, if you want to do it yourself. I don't know who's done it or not, but there is one person that came to my mind the moment that I saw this tag, and that was Ola Queen, because I know she loves RuPaul's Drag Race as much as I do. So I would like to personally tag her to do this tag, because I would like to see her answers to these questions, and I think she would really enjoy to do this tag. So yeah, and if you also want to do it, like I said, I'm gonna leave down below the link to the original as well to all of the questions. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate your support. I hope that you enjoyed this little book tag, and if you did, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber yet, so you don't miss any more coffee times with me. Also remember to click on the notification bell so you get notified every time that I upload videos, which is regularly twice a week. And if you want to follow me on the social media, I do have a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The links to my social media can be also found on the description box down below, and I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!